students, here I'm back with a new chapter, chapter 9, Madam Rides the Bus of your first flight book. Madam Rides the Bus is a story of a young girl, 8-year-old young girl who is quite courageous and have a desire, and along with it, desire to fulfill it. Let's read the chapter. Madam over here refers to a young girl named Valli in short. We will see the journey of a young girl who starts her journey with the bus. She rides, she goes on a ride, and she was so much curious to know about the outside world. Let's start the chapter. In this story, an 8-year-old girl whose first bus journey into the world outside her village is her induction, that means introduction into the mysteries of life and death. When she will enter the world, the real world, she will be able to know the reality of life and death. She sees that there is death and also understands it. About the author. The author of this chapter is Valli Kannan, is the pseudonym of R.S. Krishnaswamy. Pseudonym is the author's pen name, which the writers uses during their work, during their writings. They use this particular name that is called as pseudonym. So R.S. Krishnaswamy's pseudonym was Valli Kannan, and he was a Tamil writer, journalist, critic, and translator from Tamil Nadu. Krishnaswamy was born in Rajavallipuram near Tirunelveli. He started writing at very young age and had published 25 books by the time he was 30 years of age. He wrote total 75 books in his life and also been awarded Sahitya Akademi Award. And he died in 2006. Madam Rides the Bus. So there was a girl named Valli Ammai. She was 8 years old and very curious about things. She was a very curious girl. She wants to know the reality of life. She wants to know the world. She was very much curious to go out of the house and know what is all happening. As she was quite young, so her favorite pastime was standing at the front doorway of her house. That means she used to stand at the door and she used to watch all the happenings of the street outside. She had no playmates of her age in her street to play with, as she was having no particular friends of her own age. So she used to watch outside the street, outside the house, and she used to see all the things, whatever is happening on the streets. Watching the street gave her tremendous joy and new experiences. The most fascinating thing of all was the bus that traveled between her village and the nearest town. It was the source of unending joy for her. So the most interesting thing was that bus which used to travel from her own village to the nearest town. Riding the bus grew into an overwhelming desire in her mind. Over many days and months, Valli gathered information and details about the bus journey. So those who used to speak about the bus, she used to gather all the information. She now, as she used to look at the bus as you can see in the picture out here, she used to regularly, she used to see the bus, and this has created a very much overwhelming desire in her mind. She wanted to have a ride on that bus. So she started collecting all the information and started making a very planned way to take a ride on that bus. But on the other hand, that was a secret. She wanted to keep this as a secret from her mother, from her parents. So she had done it very secretly and in a very planned way. The town was 6 miles from her village. So the first information was that it was 6 miles from her own village. What was the fare? The fare was 30 paise one way. The trip to the town took 45 minutes. So these are the details of the bus ride of the nearest town, that 6 miles, then second 30 paise one way, and 45 minutes total traveling minutes. She planned her trip very well. One fine spring, she took the afternoon bus to the town. So she had planned all this trip in a very nice way. She had preserved some of the pocket money. She had saved it, and now when she had done all the proper planning, now she is trying to execute it. And now what she had done, one fine spring day, she took the afternoon bus to the town. Now, this is the introduction of the new character, conductor. So, the conductor was a very jolly sort of man. He was fond of joking. It was the slack time when Valli got into the bus, and he jokingly called her madam. Slack time means that was the rest hour during the afternoon. So many people do not travel during that time. So there were less number of people in the bus. And this conductor was very jolly sort of man, very fun loving. So as Valli was a little girl, so conductor started jokingly telling her madam. So again and again she started addressing her as madam. Valli found the bus attracting. It was a new bus painted with gleaming colors. So the bus was new and it was shining. Valli bought a ticket for her. Valli also enjoyed the outside bus through the window. Now, what she saw outside? The canals, palm trees, grassland, distant mountain, blue sky, acres of green fields, etc. Valli had a light-hearted conversation with the passengers. So, she also had a conversation with other passengers. She was the center of attraction for them. Why? Because she was a quite young girl of merely 8 years age, and she was traveling all alone. She has decided this hour of traveling because during this time her mother takes a nap. Her mother goes for a sleep. So this girl, Valli, she thought that this particular hour will be perfect to take a ride on a bus. Suddenly, Valli clapped her hands with glee. That means, glee means happiness. Why? Because she saw a young cow running right in front of the bus, right in the middle of the road. The animal was frightened. Why it was frightened? Because the driver was honking the horn, and the cow started running faster and faster. This scene, Valli found it very funny, and she laughed and laughed. Valli enjoyed every sight she enjoyed with excitement. She did not get off the bus at the town for the fear of being lost, as Valli is you can see that Valli was a very smart girl. She was very intellectual, intelligent, because she was traveling all alone, but she was taking all the precautions. She did not get off from the bus because of the fear of being lost. She made her return journey by the same bus. On her way back, the sight of the same cow lying dead by the roadside made her sad. So, students, when she was coming back from the same bus, what she saw? The same cow who was jumping with full of life, which the cow which was coming in front of the bus again and again was found dead. And this sight made saddened to whom? To Valli. Valli became very sad. The memory of the dead cow haunted her and she did not look outside through the window anymore. At last, the bus reached her village. She thanked the conductor, got down the bus and went straight to her home. This was how she had her first bus ride without letting anybody know about it. So finally, she reached her village, she reached her home and she had her first bus ride and nobody knew her journey. And when she went inside the home, her mother was sitting there talking with her aunt. This is the end of the chapter, students. Thank you very much. And Madam Rides the Bus concludes happily. Thank you.